Hello. Yeah, a little bit late. So yeah. This is my first proper YouTube live stream. So if you exclude like the test runs I did like with for Binding of Isaac like long time ago, I think I deleted those videos. So yeah. Anyway, hello. So I'm gonna turn down. Apologies for the beeping sound you might hear in a bit. I'll just turn it down so I can kind of hear my own voice. I'll also apologise if my voice sounds a bit sore. Main reason is a couple of days ago I woke up with a sore throat and a bit of the sniffles. So yeah, that's that. I'm not sure. I'll just double check if mine's working. Yeah, seems to be working okay-ish. We'll just yeah, I think so. It might be a bit of a delay between, well, that's probably natural for a stream, so yeah, so I'm gonna just summarize what this video is gonna be. It's kind of like a last minute sort of stream. Spent like 2 or 3 hours just trying to set up. Last week I tried setting up you know, beforehand, you know, the how to use Streamlabs now. I'm using Streamlabs, not OBS. I think it's more user friendly from what I've heard and seen. So hopefully I think the connection is not too bad. Seems a bit like yeah, we'll have to minimize something just to double check. So yeah, so what is this video going to be about? Well, as the title implies, really, that it's going to be about Hearthstone, really, and like the numerous problems with the well, I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't think there's that many problems with the compared to like in the previous videos. They have made quite a few changes for the better, really, and we're going to just have a look at those improvements just to be a bit not so biased in that. So yeah, one thing that I'm gonna definitely do though is highlight the negatives, and the negatives mainly coming from the certain introductions of some rather questionable payment methods. I think I've said this before and I'll say it again. I have always been a free to play player, and so I haven't spent a single penny on this shindig. So is that the right word? Oh, sorry, I kind of adjusted the resolution for some reason. Let's try again. There we go, it should be fine now. It's kind of weird how you can just adjust the resolution there. So yeah, I'm kind of waffling on a bit. As I said, I'm kind of new to this. I'll get more confident as I do more streams and that. So please, I apologise, and please bear in mind I'm not an experienced streamer like, you know, so many numerous VTubers and influencers and what have you. So yeah, there's quite a serious delay between me talking and doing stuff and what have you. So yeah, YouTube did say that my connection is pretty good, and then sometimes it just goes to poor again. It's kind of we got a new internet connection, so it's going to be a little bit inconsistent at first. Get used to it. Well, we'll get used to it. I mean, sorry, just checking a couple more things before we continue. Should have been more prepared ready for this. But hey, what can you do? So anyway, yet again, continuing to waffle, as said. You know what, screw this, let's just get straight to the analysis. It's going to be more of an analysis, you know, review kind of video. I may play a match or two near the end of this video, but there's no guarantee. Just mainly just get all this stuff out of the way, sort of ranting at. I'll try and do it like in categorically, like you know, go through each mode and, you know, each aspect of it, just to keep things a little bit simpler. Alrighty, so I thought I'd do it live instead of the usual format where I record the footage and then you know, edit it and crop it and stuff, just so that I can well, just talk about everything in one go, and you know, not have to worry about, you know, spending hours and days or even weeks just getting a video out that might not get that much attention. So yeah, I guess this in a way it's my form of procrastination. So alright, so without further drop frames detected 26% over the last 2 minutes. A few minutes ago. I wonder why it's lagging this much. Could it be that I'm playing the video at the same time? Well, as said, these are just test streams really. The first few, and then we'll tweak like the tweak it as I go along. And alrighty, so I think we should get started really with let's go try sort of scroll through these like from left to right, you know, traditional reading style. So yeah, what's it say here? Dropped to frames detect 28% over the last 2 minutes. Maybe I could just do it at 30 frames per second, because at the moment I'm trying to record at 60 frames. Maybe I could just tweak. Oh, sorry. That's one thing, as I said earlier, sore throat and a cough, so I'll try my best to sort of disguise it, you know, or be more discreet about it. Let's try medium, and don't know if that will have much of an effect. Probably not. Yeah, as said, we're just gonna go from left to right. So could be okay. Okay. Alright, I'm just checking the previous footage just to see how terrible it is. Actually, it doesn't seem terrible. So yeah, I'm kind of waffling on a bit. As I said, I'm kind of new to this. I'll get more content. You did say that my connection's pretty good. And then yeah, it's kind of weird hearing myself talk. You know, hearing myself talk, because I realise how monotone my voice is. So let's go back to live, see if it catches up. Maybe it's because I set the Streamlabs to high priority, maybe, I'm not really sure. So yeah, let's get straight to the analysis then. I'm just going to carry on as if, you know, as if I was just recording footage for a more edited video. That way, you know, I don't have to, you know, keep going back and forth and wait unless there's like people watching that. So yeah, alright, let's kick things off then with the shop, which has seen quite a change really, quite a significant change. The big one being that it actually looks pretty nice. They've brightened up the purple so it's a bit more colourful, and everything is tabbed now. So you got the main tab, which is like the feature tab with all the sort of latest stuff and what have you. Then we got I'll just won't bear me a second. There we go. No, I don't want full screen. Never mind. I was hoping to, you know, picture in picture, but it doesn't work yet, so I just have to keep popping up and down really. Alright, so as we're saying, the shop is actually pretty, well, it's not the best, but you know, there's still some things that kind of grate me, and we'll get to that shortly. In the meantime, yep, you got separated by Hearthstone, the main modes, Battlegrounds, Arena, and other related sort of modes like Mercenaries. Who gives a shit about Mercenaries anymore? We'll talk about Mercenaries anyway, and Runestones. Yeah, Runestones are, if you haven't seen well, you've probably seen the image on the thumbnail. Runestones are a new type of currency in the game. Introduced a little while ago last year. As far as I know, this was a feature to, you know, get around some laws in like some countries. Sorry, just having a nice glass of warm milk, because I'm apparently a baby. So yeah, as you can see, this is like a sort of archaic step back, in my opinion. Oh dear, what have I done? There we go. Sorry, I kind of full screened it for some reason. So yeah, runestones. I think it's a step back, a more archaic form of payment, because before then you could just pay directly via like cash or card or whatever. Not cash, but you know, sort of a direct debit sort of thing. Not a direct debit, you know what I mean, like just pay with just the right amount of money, really, straight from your account or card or whatever. But now it seems like you have to, well, you don't have to, but that's the wrong word, waffling again. You now have the option to pay with runestones, so you're paying money to pay for a currency to pay for items, which seems like adding an extra step that's not really necessarily needed. And I think it would have been better if they just, you know, I think it would have been better if they just did that first and then they sort of introduced a more convenient way. It seems like they've done the opposite way around and now just using a system that I think is pretty flawed and archaic. You're probably wondering why my cursor's moving all over the place. It's because I'm kind of shifting between screens. I only have using one monitor at the moment, so now runestones aren't terribly implemented because a lot of the items in the store have nice round numbers. Like for example, this Battlegrounds pass is 1500 runestones, and would you know, there's an option to buy 1500 runestones for, in my country, £13.49, which I guess is about $17-18 maybe. I don't know the exchange rate of GBP and USD. It varies on country to country really. So, as I said, you could still pay with gold. They indicate what you can use to pay for each item, like card packs are definitely the most awkward though, because I think that the runestone amounts are well, sometimes round, sometimes a bit awkward. Yeah, so there is a chance that you'll get some remaining runestones that you can't really buy anything with. Which means you have to buy more runestones in order to top up your balance to buy the other stuff. So yeah, as said, quite a step backwards. I rather them just not bothered, but I could see why they did it to, you know, get around some sort of legal issues of when it comes to purchases and that. Yeah, everything's tabbed now. Mercenaries tickets, tavern tickets, we'll get to that soon. You could buy all the adventures, which I haven't done. I think you could buy some of them with gold, others not. Just showing how it does feel smoother though. That's one of the issues I had in the previous video, is that it didn't feel very smooth navigating around the shop. Like every time you opened it, it sort of glitches out and gets all stuttery when you scroll. I took a lemsip earlier, what the fuck. But just like with the original shop, it gets smoother if you open it more than once in one session. It does feel a bit smoother though and more neatly organised. So that's one thing I will say and be honest about, is that the shop has been improved, and this was a pretty recent change. You know, I think it was like a month or two ago since you know, the change. Yeah. There's not many good choices when you go to the recommended for you section, just for you. They all require runestones. Some can only be paid with runestones, which is kind of annoying. Be nice to at least have the option to you know, pay with gold. There are quite a few things that you can't really pay with gold. You have to like you have to sort of pay with either runestones or with money still, but these are kind of awkward numbers. Like $53.99, $31.49. One thing that's definitely worth noting right now though is the price for this new kind of hero skin called legendary skins, and just yet again just checking to see how smooth it is. So yeah, legendary hero skins. We'll get to we'll elaborate more on this soon. Until then, all I will say is, yeah, it is pretty expensive. Believe it or not, the legendary hero skins, originally the purchase was just for the skin alone. You didn't get any packs with them, which was shocking really, because $22.49. Most of these legendary hero skins do cost like about between like $20 to $25. In my country it's about 23 quid. Quid slang for pounds for those who don't know. I'm sure you know anyway. But yeah, now they've kind of sweetened the deal shortly afterwards by adding 5 packs of the class the legendary skin is for. So in this case, the very first legendary skin was Arthas. You could preview the animations and what they look like. You could even see some videos on their animations and that. You can even preview what their emotes are, which is kind of nice. But yeah, as I said, I have mixed feelings about these legendary hero skins. They're a bit of a hit or miss really. The Arthur skin's not too bad, and some of them did get better. We did get better legendary hero skins in the future, like I'm not sure if there are any that we can show you here. We probably could see them in the collection screen, which we'll get to soon. But they do kind of vary. Some are okay, like the Arthas one. Some are really good, like the Cthulhu one. Others aren't so great. Like, what's her name? Is it Tyrande? Elise? No, I think it's Tyrande, the priest skin, legendary skin, which is kind of a meh. So there's not really much else to say about the shop, apart from some like information about like what happened with the prices of the shop. They actually went up a few months ago. And it even increased the prices of them in countries like Turkey and Ukraine. And you'd think like, well, why would they increase prices in those countries? It's not like those countries can do that. I mean, because Ukraine is being invaded by Putin's forces and Turkey went through that earthquake a little while ago. So back then, when they increased prices, it was kind of a not very smart move on their part, because it just made them look kind of greedy. I don't have evidence of this right here, but all I can really say is, yeah, they could have just at least left the price alone, or even just reduced the prices until, you know, the whole Ukraine-Russian conflict is over. And, you know, I don't know what's happening with Turkey and the earthquake. I hope everyone's alright there. Just generally speaking, really. So yeah. Tavern passes, we'll get to those, or tavern tickets rather. Mercenaries still has a shop for some reason, even though no one's really playing Mercenaries anymore. Trying to think what else I could say. Bundles as well. They click on them and you can... oh yeah, one thing I do kind of like that they changed was when you're buying card packs, so for standard let's say, before you had to double click on the quantity and then type the number you want. So let's say 40, oh no, you know, I don't want to buy any by accident. But one thing I will say is I'm glad that they changed it so now you can now you know, just use the plus and minus symbols to increase the quantities, and I think it's just a lot more straightforward and a bit just easier to, you know, customize, you know, so that's pretty cool. You don't have to, it's much more clearer basically. Hero skins can also be bought by GoldenNet. I think that kind of summarizes the case with summarizes the shop really. It's just does what it does. Hasn't changed too much in terms of like functionality, but in terms of like organization and it's improved. So unfortunately there's not too many problems with that. Alrighty, let's now go straight to, I'm just going to check something. Trying to think what. Struggling to catch up with the live. Yeah, okay, it's not bad. Sorry, it's kind of weird hearing myself. Still, not used to that. Still, gotta refresh my stream video. Righty, let's go straight to the journal now. I don't think it's changed too much since the Murder Castle Nathria expansion. So, yeah, we've got a call for a brawl because there's the Brawlocene or hero thing we don't care about. Like in the last video, I corrected myself. You do get a new daily quest every time you log in every day, but the whole weekly section will be completely refilled if, you know, in my case, it's every Sunday. That completely it refills all of the empty spaces, and it tells you how many days you got left. I said that in the previous video. I just thought I'd say it again. Okay, so yeah. Let me just check something quickly for a second. Yeah. Maybe it's a bit delayed or something, I'm not sure. But I was looking at the subscription thing, so it doesn't seem to have changed despite the fact it says 391 now. Maybe it's some issue that I need to correct for another video. I'll just change it in next stream. So yeah, that's the daily quest thing, not much changed. Unfortunately, I can't show you one thing, which is the new edition of events. Events are a pretty cool addition, and I'm kind of surprised that they didn't do this much earlier in the game's lifespan. I think the stream is now getting a little bit better now. Just catch up and see. As said, this is more of like a test thing. Yeah, so okay, so this is the reward track. It's remained practically identical to the track from the previous video released of Hearthstone. I'm currently at level 80, got 20 points to go to get to the new hero skin, which I probably won't use. Just like previously, they kind of give you lots of rewards at first, and then as you progress further and further through the past, it gives you less and less stuff. So it gives you a bunch of packs and legendaries and golden cards. As you can see, the rewards get smaller and smaller as you go along. But the gold's amount does increase though, so you don't get as many card-related rewards, but you do get high amounts of gold for leveling up. And it does still cap at 2500 when you reach a certain point to level up. So, and when you get to level 100, you get some hero skins, and they've added a few more, which is kind of cool. Pity they only selected a few of them to give extra skins for. But it's good that they finally got a new Death Knight and skins as well, and more Demon Hunter stuff. You do get rewards, extra rewards, if you buy the Tavern Pass, which I haven't. 9 times value. How can you know, how'd you come to that conclusion, really? I don't see how that's the case. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that just it sounds a little bit suspicious to me. Or as the young kids say, sus. Yeah. So just like with previous video, I kind of lightly touched upon this Tavern Pass thing. For money or runestones, you get all this kind of other stuff, which I don't really care for. The quests, and then level up to get gold, and once you've passed 100, you get 50 more gold for every other level between 101 and 400. So yeah, practically identical, which is a shame. You would have thought they would have, you know, gone through and updated it, tweaked it here and there, but for some reason, nope, they kind of left it exactly the same. So that's a little bit of a shame, to be honest. But hey, that's it's okay, and I think they're just fine with okay. One thing I still have a gripe with, though, is the achievement system. As someone who grew up playing like Xbox and that, achievements have been, you know, pretty big part of, like, you know, getting us incentivized to, you know, play the game and keep leveling up and what have you. And I think the problem though is well, I think it's a pretty obvious one that the like as I mentioned in the second video I made a while ago. A lot of these rewards achievements are just points, and the points don't really give you any prizes. And what I don't understand is why they've just kind of left it as it is. They just kind of you do get certain rewards for completing certain missions, like new skins, and like some golden variants of cards. I'd say like at least 90% of the rewards though are just points that add to your score, which don't really amount to much, like, or anything at all really. It's just there for bragging rights, I guess. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this system, and I think they could retool it in the future to make it a bit more practical, or, you know, give you more ways to show it off, you know, to show your dedication to the game of Hearthstone. But it seems like a lot of the ones that give you experience are the ones for the newest expansion, like quite a few of them. I haven't got many because I've only been playing like a couple of classes, so yeah, achievements is disappointing still. We've got the profile screen, standard, wild and twist. We'll talk a little bit about twist in a moment. It's the brand new mode that replaces classic. But as said, we'll get more and more into why twist failed. Well, in my opinion anyway. Some stats and levels. When you reach certain threshold with like a certain milestone, and when leveling each class by using them all the time, you don't really get anything from them, except for like completing missions and yeah, that add more points to your achievements, which achievement points, which are kind of meh. As you can see, I haven't really been playing many classes. I only really played Druid, Rogue, and Warrior. You'd have thought that I'd be playing Mage all the time, but Mage hasn't been too great recently, so... Oh god, I'm dying. So yeah. Yeah, I hope you like the sound of sick people, because well, I'm not that sick really, it's just a sore throat. That's the worst, most annoying thing really. Right, might as well skim through this one. Opening packs. I've got a few that I'm gonna open when the next expansion comes out. Well, not expansion, a mini set rather. So one thing I do kind of like though is that you can just go straight to the shop by a short click and you know, buy the packs and then go back to the screen and then open them. I'm not going to open these ones yet. These are new types of packs. One thing, oh, that's a feature I could talk about. If you just hold down the left mouse button over a pack, you can open multiple packs at the same time in multiples of 5. That's a pretty cool feature. Kind of works like in Master Duel, where you can just skip through all like 20 odd packs and just just look at all the results right away. I did that for the Badlands expansion, and pretty convenient and quick. As said, oh, my mistake, you can do the max amount, but in multiples of 5, or up until the maximum amount of packs you have for that set. So these packs are the like catch-up packs. These are like, they give you more packs and rewards based on how incomplete your standard set is. So standard collection is. So the more missing cards you have, the more cards you get from these packs. And these are got from events. Did I really go through events that much? Events, yeah. They recently had the Winter Veil one. The event tab usually appears above the mission quest tab, and the events give you bonus awards in that for the event. So like exclusive battleground skins, hero skins. What else? They also give you like card packs, signature cards, which we'll talk about soon. But yeah, overall, as said, I'm glad they implemented events. I can't really share it, as I said earlier, for those who wonder. Let's go through just the modes available to play. So here's your deck list. Could I have up to 18 or something? So yeah, we got Standard, Wild, Casual, and now Twist. Twist wasn't around in my previous video, so I might as well talk about that. Twist was an exciting thing because it's like, oh cool, we got a brand new mode to replace Classic, because nobody was really playing Classic really, which is really awesome. But the problem though was that Twist wasn't as much of a twist as we thought it was, because the problem was they didn't really go far enough with the rule changes, because that's what Twist was. It was different rule changes, like different expansions can be used every month. And that's kind of it really, that the Twist was basically locking you out from using all the cards from Wild and only using a select few. So like, for example, I think the first example Twist was everything in Wild up to like, I think Kobolds and Catacombs or something. They released a brand new set as well, Caverns of Time, which is like cards you can only use in Wild, which was pretty cool. You know, just to give more appeal to Wild, because I don't think too many people playing Wild compared to Standard. I only play Standard now because it's just more straightforward. But yeah, every month or so they change the rules, whether it be restricting what sets you can use, what cards from what sets you can use. I think there was one where you can increase the size of your deck by like 10 cards or something, based on like, I don't know. I don't really care for this one much. I played it a couple of times and just kind of lost interest. Nobody really got Legend on this format, and yeah, very poor attendance really. So yeah, kind of a disappointment. Yep, you win matches to gain stars, and when you gain enough stars, you rank up. And when you reach certain milestones, you get rewards like card packs and rare cards and such. You still get a season card back every month, the start of every month, assuming you win 5 matches in the format. Yeah, it's pretty much remained unchanged. It's still the problem still is that if you get a ranking in 2 different formats, let's say you get bronze 5 in Standard and bronze 5 in Wild, you will only get reward from one of those formats. You don't get twice the reward, you only get the one from the one that has the highest ranking. So that's, as said, I think Eternal, the card game, allows you to get both from both formats, so it's kind of a shame they don't do the same really here. You can now, I think, was this always the case? You could access a tutorial by clicking the question mark icon in the screen. It gives you some basic rules, but you can play a tutorial if you want to. You can access a collection here and play. Still doesn't take too long to get a matchup. Although one of the problems is the matchups tend to be bots now. There's a lot more bots ever since, they, cut ties with the Chinese servers. Although there is rumors that they're going to get the Chinese servers back somehow, so get some more players, but I don't know. We have to wait and see. As I said, I probably won't play a match yet. I'll probably play 1 or 2 maybe. I see how I feel. I played a little bit earlier. Right, let's look at Battlegrounds, because there's quite a bit to say about this one. Oh Christ, I really need to do something else. Rather than just, disgusting, sorry. So yeah, Battlegrounds. Originally it was just Battlegrounds, but now they've changed it so it's more of a seasonal thing. So every few months they go to the next season, which changes the rules and changes the card pools, adds some new mechanics to keep things relatively fresh. So, Battlegrounds is, I still think, in my opinion, the best mode by far in this game, and because it's the most accessible for most players without having to pay money and stuff. So that's pretty cool. You can access the shop straight away, and the collection to see what customization options you have. Like you can change the skins, by favoriting them. One thing that is definitely worth talking about though is the fact you can even get new skins and rewards from just playing Battlegrounds. Before you couldn't really do that, at least not as often as now. Now it's pretty easy to get all these different all these new skins and animations, and so what I don't really like though is how they implemented the battle track, which is a new feature that was introduced after the last Hearthstone video did. So yeah, as said, custom. I only have one bartender still one board. Got some animations which you can preview to see what they look like, which is pretty cool. Some of them pretty cool. My favorite is the oh, let's see which one it is. It's Doom Symphony. Yeah, the one with the musical notes. That's pretty cool. Get a preview of what it does when you do less than 15 damage, and one when you do 15 or more damage. And you can also customize your emotes as well, drag them here and there. That battle music still keeps playing for some reason. Yeah, crikey. Look at your stats, blah blah blah. All the last few matches. I've not been doing them best recently. Yeah, do like using a reform when I can. And let's get to the big talking point really, which is the Battlegrounds track, which is the same as the rewards track, just exclusive for Battlegrounds. And this is where you get all your free stuff. Well, and this is the missions. So you complete Battlegrounds missions to gain XP, and when you get enough XP, you level up, and when you level up, you get a reward. However, that's not always the case if you're a free player like me. If you're a free player, you only get reward every like 4 levels, exception being the first 3 levels. You get one at level 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you get one at 7, then 11, then 15, etc. in multiples of 4 after the initial 3. So that means there's 40 levels altogether, and when you get to 40, you get a pretty cool looking legendary, well usually, oh sorry, 39, you get a legendary hero skin usually. You get animations, new animations as well. But as said, you'll notice that every level has a reward, but some of them have most of them in fact have a lock screen, a lock icon. And that's because free players can only unlock the stuff that doesn't have a lock on it. So that means, and there's 40 levels, and you only get 1 reward out of the 4 per screen, which means free players get up to 10 rewards throughout the 40 levels. And in order to get these other rewards, you need to buy the season pass. 6 times value. Yet again, how do they know it's 6 times value? What kind of maths were they doing? So yeah, this is the season pass for Battlegrounds. Now, one thing, there's one big problem with this, and we'll get to that shortly. You've probably seen it already though. You probably see it already right away. As said though, I'm not. Why is? Yeah, there must be some sort of glitch or something. Like plays that battle music for some reason when you play a video. So just the fact you're getting rewards is good enough, really, shouldn't it? I mean, because you know you're getting free stuff just for playing the game. Before then, you couldn't really do that, not very often, unless it was a special event or something. But there's one big problem. One thing is that before the Battlegrounds pass, there was this thing called perks, and perks is basically the same thing, except you could pay it with gold if you wanted to. It required like 2,000 gold, but that's still a possibility, right? But now with the Battlegrounds pass though, they've made it so you can't even pay it with gold anymore. You can only pay it with money or runestones, which is basically money but more sort of inconvenient way of doing so. So that's kind of annoying, because if you stockpile gold and you only play Battlegrounds, you just can't get any of the other rewards. You have to pay with money now, which locks you into, you know, either just skipping them or just having to pay money for it, which is kind of annoying. But the biggest problem by far though was the reward you get at level 1, which is 2 extra heroes to pick from at the beginning of a match. Now I'll probably play a Battlegrounds match just to show you what I mean. If you play Battlegrounds you know what it looks like, but you've probably seen the JXC video where it shows you how that looks, but so yeah, the problem is this is one of the locked items that you can only get from the Battlegrounds pass. So if you start the Battlegrounds track for the season at level 1 as a free player, you don't get this. But if you're a premium player, you do straight away. As soon as you open a Battlegrounds track and you with a season pass, you just get to choose from 4 heroes at the beginning of a match instead of just 2. And in most cases, I imagine most people would say, well, just because you could pick from 2 more heroes as well doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to win, right? It's just more choice. So well, the problem is most of the other rewards are static only. This is the only one that actually affects gameplay because it can drastically increase the chances of you finding a hero that's good. Now, the thing is, if all the heroes were balanced in a way to the point where you could pick one and just win if you play, well enough, and you could theoretically win with any of them, then it'll be fine. But just like with fighting games in general, really, there's a tier list, and some heroes are going to be much better than others. For example, Heist Baron Togwaggle and what's his name, Theron, the guy with the I might as well just go to the collection to jog my memory. So yeah, some of these heroes are good, some are bad, some are amazing. Like as mentioned, like the Togwaggle one is still pretty good. Some like Dancing Daryl and Syndra Goza, I think it was, aren't very good. So yeah, if it was a bit more balanced, I think this wouldn't be a problem, but it's almost impossible to balance a game with this big of a roster, so yeah, so that's the big problem really, is that it increases their chance of getting a good hero, and sometimes matches could be determined by just getting the best hero of the bunch. And with every season they add a new hero, so the pools could be larger and larger, so one day you're going to be relying on this if you want to win, or at least increase the chance of you winning. But so yeah, that kind of sucks. People have even declared this as a pay-to-win situation, where if you buy the season pass and you get these 2 options, you're basically getting an advantage at you get something that basically can win a game just by getting a hero you want, which would be easier with this feature compared to if you didn't have it like I do. I wouldn't go that far though. I wouldn't say it was pay to win. I would say it's more pay for advantage, because that's literally what it is. You're paying to get an advantage by having more heroes to pick from. So that's a real gripe. That's one of the things that makes this, that does really leave a bad taste with this pretty cool feature of the Battlegrounds track, really. It's a shame that they had to ruin it by making one of the rewards actually game affecting, the only one that actually affects gameplay in some form, giving the player the advantage for money, well, for the money you pay. So yeah, that's a bit of a letdown that they messed up near the end, really. Tavern Brawl, I still don't like Tavern Brawl, but this time it's the hero Brawl Lyceum. Nobody really plays it, so but you still only get a standard pack. You still only get like a standard pack for winning once in a Tavern Brawl. There's no incentive to keep playing it because you don't get any rewards from it, except for a little bit of experience for your hero, but that's about it. Be cool if like you got more and more rewards as you play Tavern Brawl over and over again, so it doesn't feel like you're just play once and then get out of there situation. I'm still not a fan of Tavern Brawls because sometimes it is just a case of RNG. There's quite a lot of RNG in that mode. In the main screen, I think Tavern Brawl or Battlegrounds was replaced by Mercenaries, but then Mercenaries kind of fell flat and is now sent to the modes section, which is where all the other modes go, the ones that nobody really plays. maybe except for Arena though. I think some people still don't mind Arena at all. Frames seem to have dropped a little bit, but hopefully not too much. So yeah, Arena, you can use tavern tickets to enter for free. You get them from the rewards track, or by purchasing them. But I'm not purchasing them though, screw that. You still pick from a range of random minions and spells and stuff and try to get through. You still have to win at least, I'd say, 3 times to, you know, break even, or at least get a little bit better than that. So there's solo adventures. I've talked about this briefly in a previous video, so I won't go into too much detail. You can still got all these modes from old sets. Some are just like a bit like you know, where just fight different opponents consecutively with random decks and stuff, puzzles, Book of Heroes and Book of Mercenaries, where you pick a hero and go through like some sort of backstory behind them, and Phelan's probably the more interesting one because you can pick from a different like psychic and that to join you. You don't really get much from it apart from like a pack at the end of each one you complete. As you can see, I have made very little progress because some of these matches can be pretty unfair at times, especially with, I think it's Hunter. Might have been Hunter, let's see. I think I've only completed 2 of them. I'll just retire for now, just so I can show you the main screen. Oh, for the Book of Heroes. So yeah, I've only completed 2 of them, Mage and Hunter. And there are some matches which just do feel pretty unfair, in my opinion. I don't think enough testing went to some of these battles. There's a couple things worth knowing in the March of the Lich King one, and there's a prologue which you need to complete in order to unlock the Death Knight class, which yeah, stop talking. Yeah, it doesn't take long, and seems like also a showcase for the legendary hero skins more than anything really. So I think the yeah, I think it's a pretty good way of introducing like the class and a bit about backstory, because I don't know much about World of Warcraft's lore and backstory, so yeah, so that's kind of cool. We'll talk more about Death Knight when we get to the collection screen, where we can look at the class up close and what they specialise in and what they do, and you know, all the cards and that. So you can practice as well, but I think the decks are mostly the same. There's no option to choose different types of opponents, like different deck types, or even choose a custom deck to face off against. There's no feature like that, which is kind of lame, because, you know, just to practice to see which decks work good against others. So yeah, let's go talk about the collection then. There's quite a lot to say about this one really. You only capped at 27 decks to save. So yeah, looks pretty much the same from what I remember as before really. So we'll talk. So yeah, I think this might be a good time to talk about Death Knight here whilst we are on this Death Knight collection screen. Most of the Death Knight cards have what are called runes, these little symbols below the mana cost, and this basically locks you out of playing cards of different runes. There are 3 different types of runes. There's ooh, what have I done there? Oh, yeah, you could customize what runes you want just this way. I kind of fucked up, but oh well, I'm not too fussed about Death Knight at the moment, so whatever. There are 3 types of runes. There's the unholy one, which is indicated by a green square. It is arguably the best of the 3 runes. There's the blood rune, which is a red diamond, and finally there is, if I could find one, there we go. Circle blue is frost. So there's frost, unholy, and blood. Unholy is good for like a, you know, board setup and, you know, control sort of strategy, I guess. Blood is more for like sapping your opponent and increasing your own health. Frost is about freezing and, you know, spells that give you cards like this one, or mana crystals, which I don't think I have many cards of. Not all of them have them though, but quite a lot of them do, as you can see, like most of them have. And there are 3 runes for your deck, and depending on which card you have, it locks you out from certain other cards. So, for example, if you have a card that's just nothing but, I don't think there are many examples. Like, let's say you get this card, 2 unholy runes. Actually, let's create a new deck just to make it easier. I'll delete that one. Yeah. There we go. So we've seen, yeah, here, this might be a good example. So yeah, as you can see, the reason why I'm locked out from using any other cards is because I have a card that has nothing but unholy runes. All 3 runes are green, which means I can only play green runes because there's no red or blue ones. But you can do a different thing where you can have a card which has 2 of the same color and 1 of another. And I'm locked out of playing green because there's no green, and I can only play cards with up to 2 frost runes and 1 of 1 red. So yeah, it shows you here, like, see, you only have room for 1 more color and the other 2 are blue, so you can only play cards with up to 2 runes, blue runes, or 1 with red, or a combination like 1 blue and 1 red, or 2 blue and 1 red. You just can't play any green. You can create what's called a rainbow deck where it's just 1 of each, but they're not very competitively viable at the moment, so not that many tools for that kind of deck, so don't bother yet. Like, this spell is a rainbow card, but it's too slow. It's 10 mana, takes a while to get going, and yeah, maybe one day it will be, but not quite yet at the moment. That's all red, so I can only play red cards. It's good that the game does show you, like in red, like which cards you can't use for Death Knight, and you can filter them out, see show runes or not. That's Death Knight in a nutshell, really. Just you know, rune based, and another mechanic called corpses, where whenever a friendly minion dies, you get a corpse, and you can use those corpses to boost a card's effect. So, for example, there we go. See, yeah, that one as well. Defrost. 2 mana, you draw a card, but if you have 2 corpses, in other words, if you have 2 friendly minions die, and you get 2 corpses, and so when you play the card, you draw 2 cards instead of 1. So I guess the runes thing is it restricts you when it comes to what cards you can use, but in exchange, some of the cards are more powerful to compensate for the restrictions. So hence why you could get a 2 mana draw 2 instead of a 3 mana draw 2, like with that mage spell Arcane Intellect. So okay, that kind of makes some sense there. One thing that I don't really like about Death Knight though is some of the cards there's quite a few cards that are just crazy. Like I'm not a fan of the one that let's get out of here so I can see all the Death Knight cards. I don't have it, but I do have it. It's because it's a core card. Lord Marigar is crazy if you don't have the right way to counter it. Some rush minions, one that destroys all minions and gain a corpse for each. There's quite a few pretty powerful Death Knight cards. And because of the rune system and their need to buff cards to compensate, it's originally at first was underpowered, but then they buffed cards, and now it's a pretty solid class really. It's kind of funny that Death Knight, when it was introduced, was actually underpowered, almost like sort of warrior levels of bad. Well, before warrior got all these really cool tools and that. So in arena though, it's the complete opposite story. Death Knight was by far the best, and I think it still is the best class in arena, just because there are so few cards used for specific types of decks. A lot of them are quite general. You can use them for pretty much anything, any deck. And because of the smaller card pool of Death Knight cards, you're more likely to get a card that just works in anything really. So it just makes it, the synergies are much easier with Death Knight than the others, which have other classes where, or the other classes have like so many more cards. You're more likely to get some stuff that doesn't work in your deck, like if you're holding a dragon it does this. It's like, well, I don't have a dragon in my deck because I keep getting undead shit. So yeah, Death Knight, as for this video anyway, is still by far the best class in Arena, and it's a quite good class in Standard and Wild, but was never the case. It's not like with Demon Hunter, where Demon Hunter was just crazy good when it launched. When Death Knight launched in the March of the Lich King expansion, it was actually not great, even with one of the better hero powers with a 1/1 mini with charge. So yeah, I'm still not a huge fan of Death Knight though, but you know, it might grow on me as I play with Death Knight more often. So there is that, I suppose. One thing we could talk about here is signature cards, which is a new variant of cards you could get from different ways. You can either get them from packs or from special events. They were introduced also in the March of the Lich King expansion, same time as the Death Knight, and mixed feelings really. Let's filter the card out by expansion. So Lich King, Death Knight. I don't have many signatures from this set. I got a couple. There, here we go. Now the problem with these signatures from the March of the Lich King expansion is, one, you'll notice it's kind of like a blue sepia tone look. Very fitting for the expansion, but the problem is it doesn't really show off the alternative art, because that's what the signature cards are there. Full art cards with alternative artwork, and they look cool, but just the color scheme is very bland and faded, and that doesn't really show off what the artwork from the people who drew it. On top of that, the cards you get from events, you can't disenchant them. When March of the Lich King came out though, you couldn't disenchant any of them, not even the ones you got from packs. I'm just gonna have a drink of my milk. Oh, it's cold. It's cold now. Crikey, I need a bit of wasser. I'll get some water soon. I know it's Wasser or something. I don't know. It's been a while since I learned German. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, back in the March of the Lich King expansion, you couldn't disenchant any signatures, regardless of how you got them. But then the following set, Festival of Legends, you can now disenchant any signatures you get from packs. I've got a couple of them I could show you somewhere. Takes a little while to load all the images and animations. There we go. For example, Mr. Mukla. This is a signature. It's been redesigned. The good thing about the signatures after the March of the Lich King was one, the borders and that look cleaner and nicer, in my opinion. Also, the effect box is now just a pop-up that appears at the side of the card instead of like, you know, on the card itself, which makes it a bit neater. See more of the alt art. It's got a nice little sort of subtle animation, like with golden cards. And I think the best thing of all, the best thing about the newer signatures is they're in color, full color. Wow, none of that sort of bland, just sepia tone look. It's actually in color. So, and as I said, now you can disenchant signatures for dust, for the same amount of dust equivalent to if you disenchanted a I think it's either a legendary or golden legendary, one of those, which is also not bad, because before you couldn't do that at all. However, you can't disenchant, you still can't disenchant any signatures you get from events and such. For example, I know I keep saying it for example, but I just like that sort of phrase, beginning phrase. Like this one, I got this one from an event, one of the first events I think, one of the earlier events at least, and you can't disenchant it because you got it from an event. So if you don't like it, or you're already got the regular, you prefer the regular, then tough. However, if you do get a reward and awards track you already have, like a lower rarity version now, you can re-roll the lower rarity versions, lower variant versions of the card for a card of the same rarity, which is cool because they at least tried to give you a card of that rarity you don't have or don't have all the copies of. So for example, if you like have if you get a golden card in a rewards track but you already have the regular versions, then it re-rolls the regular versions into a new regular version of that of a card of that rarity. So I'm not sure if I'm explaining that very well. I do not speak English very well, even though it's my native language. As I said, the signatures look pretty cool, colourful, bright, see the whole artwork, and yeah, it's just, you can't craft them, just like with diamond cards, you can't craft them at all. You have to get them from events or packs, and I think you only get them from golden card packs, not the regular card packs. So, and golden card packs cost like 4 times as much in gold compared to regular packs, so fingers crossed you get at least a couple, like I did. So we could talk about coins. If you complete a set of cards, or at least get enough, or like I'd say about like 90% of all the cards in a set, you get a coin reskin, which is kind of neat. Even for like the older sets, you could get some new coins by just collecting as many cards as possible from that set. Let's go back to there's been quite a few sets since the last video. So Lich King was known for introducing Death Knight, festivals for introducing each class had its own musical theme. So Death Knight is obviously death metal, and we got emo rock, I don't know, emo something. Druid is like folk or experimental, one of those. Mage was like electronic, disco, and another mechanic was one where a card's effect would change each turn, which has been kind of done before. So yeah, they kept the tradition of locations as well. They kept making a return, kept releasing new locations and such, so that's nice. One thing I will say though is they do still add different types of minions. So like let's filter. Titans was a pretty recent set. They introduced Titans, cards that can't attack when they're played, but they can activate one of 3 effects, and they can't use that effect twice. They only use each effect once, and when they use all 3, they can attack like normal. There's one Titan in particular that was just really broken, and that was Yogg-Saron, because of how easy it was to cheat out, because originally it was cost 1 less for each spell you played this game, which means you could basically get 0 mana Titans, which is crazy. But now they changed it so it's more appropriate for Yogg-Saron, where now it just casts 2 random spells whenever you use one of its pretty strong effects, except for maybe this one. That one's not as good. One thing I really liked about Titans though is they added Forge, where if by dragging a card with Forge, or can be forged, over your deck, you could forge it, which for 2 mana gives the card a bonus effect. Like for example here, if you forge this card by dragging it over to the deck and paying 2 mana, it lowers its cost by 2. Another good one I think is there's a warrior one somewhere. That's why. This one's a pretty good board clear because, you know, forge it, you do double the damage really, just half of it spread among other minions. I do like how they've tried to introduce all sorts of different unique decks that we haven't really seen before, haven't really had much chance of seeing. Like for example, I've always wanted to see a Mech Rogue, and we finally got Mech Rogue. Quite a few really good tools for it. Same goes for Druid, where we finally got Dragon Druid in the most recent Badlands set. which is cool because it introduces cards that can give you a shit ton of value. Some that can be brought up really easily. I'm just glad they're doing that as well. And Excavation Rogue's also pretty fun. I've been playing that quite a bit. That's pretty fun. I also tried Concoction Road. It's not as fun, but still has its moments. They're actually making Taunt Warrior viable, which is cool. I've always wanted to play Taunt Warrior. The mechanics for Badlands are a bit mixed. Excavation is pretty cool, but Quick Draw, oh no. Sometimes it works quite well, other times it doesn't. It really depends on, like, you know, when you draw them really, and sometimes you draw them at the wrong time. One thing that I'll definitely say though about Hearthstone's balance is that they're still releasing pretty powerful cards that are borderline broken, like Astalor, who is in the thumbnail of this live stream. This guy is pretty strong. This is his nerfed version, by the way. Before he was even better, and even after the nerf he still sees, like, I don't know, he's at least 50% of all decks in all formats, which is crazy. There are some cards that I'm looking forward to seeing rotating, like for in this case Prince Renathal, which I have somewhere. Yeah, this bugger can go away. I hate this card. It's pretty much an auto include because there's very little downside to using it in pretty much any deck. Coffee. So yeah, what I really I think I might have talked about this in a previous video as well, like you can actually buy card backs with gold. Not all of them though, just some of them. Like they would appear in this box telling you whether you can or not. I've got a few of them. You get some of them from winning at least 5 times in any format. It's kind of difficult to find any that you could buy with money, but not money, gold. And you get some hero skins as well, like also rune stones. You don't want that. Shame that a lot of these card backs you can't get through more traditional means, like with gold and that. Some you can, but they're usually relegated to like the older skins, which is, I guess, is alright. I mean, Soranoia would probably be a good purchase if I bothered to stockpile enough gold to do so. But yeah, most of them are just event exclusive and or purchasable from the shop, or by winning like 20 trillion matches. I haven't done any for that. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Whoopsie daisy. What else could I talk about? As I said, I've talked about signatures, diamonds. Still can't be disenchanted or crafted. You can only get them from bundles and such. There was a bit of controversy surrounding one card in particular. I think it's Dr. Holiday, which if I don't have it. I know. Do I have it? I think I disenchanted it because it was nerfed. Yeah, I did. See, yeah. The biggest problem with getting diamonds is that I think there was a case with Drekthar. I think that's what its name is. The one that can summon 2 minions if if the Drekthar costs more than all the other minions. If you bought a diamond like from a bundle in that, which actually cost money, I don't think there's any way you could get it from. You could get it from like gold and such. I think they reimbursed them with gold, and I think they might have done the same here. I don't know. I haven't bought any of the bundles. I've heard that, you know, to get this card alone, it required you to get like buy like $100 worth of bundles, and I hope that's not true, because Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money just for a digital representation of a card. So yeah, that's why. Another reason why I'm not a huge fan of diamond cards, because they can't be disenchanted. They're usually restricted to bundles or, you know, certain rewards for tavern pass. But they do look kind of cool. That's just not really worth. I still think golds are just good enough, really, for that kind of thing. That's what I've been kind of doing when playing this game, just trying to get as many golds as possible, even though I should really be just getting regulars so I can disenchant them in order to get enough dust to create a competitively viable deck. It's kind of weird saying competitive for a game like this, which is so much RNG in it. So yeah, I think I kind of wrapped up everything I have to talk about the collection, really. Yep. You can upgrade for a discount amount of dust. But they're still the exchange rate is still pretty crap. You get like very little dust from disenchanting and expect to pay significantly more dust just to get them and craft them. But you know, when stuff rotates, like the Sunken City and Lich King and that, you should have enough to get most of your collection, really. Even on day one, most of the commons and rares at least. In terms of like the classes themselves and the power levels and that, Warrior's actually doing quite well now, thanks to Armor Warrior, which is a pretty strong deck in the right hands. Warrior's been kind of all over the place with what they want to do these last few months. Let's go to standard. First it was like in Warlock with Murder Castle Nathria, then what they ended up doing is just sort of giving them all sorts of these cool tools, like Forge of Wills is pretty good. Some are pretty underwhelming, like this one. They tried sort of like doing discard Warlock, but I don't know, it's still kind of a mixed bag. One though that's pretty fun is Fatigue Warlock, using a mechanic that crikey. A mechanic that is usually applicable when only really applies when you have like no cards in your deck and you try to draw, but now it's like yeah, it's a pretty interesting idea, at least. As said before, I do enjoy using Rogue because they've got all sorts of fun and interesting ideas, like Excavation Rogue and I nearly said cock then. Oh, I just said cock now. Concoction Rogue. What else? Mech Rogue, of course. Priest has been pretty meh. Unless you're playing this little fella, then yeah, kind of a mostly a lose rate, really. Mostly losses with this class. Yet again, in a class that doesn't really seem to have much of an identity, or with, I guess they're trying overheals and Shadow Priest still, but I don't know. Paladin's good, annoying. Next, Mage was fun at first because of Mage, which is one of my favourite decks, but the problem is they've gone back to a rather standard elemental deck, which isn't as, you know, stand out for me. Hunter's just Hunter, Beast, and Nagas, and you know, Arcane Spa Hunter had potential, but I don't know. They had to really sort of nerf and buff all sorts to make it try and work. Druid is pretty fun. The hero power aspect's kind of interesting, and Dragon Druid is now my favourite deck at the moment. Demon Hunter is mostly aggro still. Outcast is still in the right hands, and then when you get the right cards in right order and that. They tried Naga as well, with the exception maybe a couple cards. Naga Demon Hunter is just still feels a little bit incomplete maybe. Where was the card? I think I might have disenchanted it. There was a Naga card in Demon Hunter that was causing some trouble. Neutrals, still quite a lot of cards that aren't really particularly good to me anyway. Quite a few of them are just like meh. I don't think anyone will ever play Helmet Hermit unless they're playing Silence Priest. Yeah, that's quite a few duds. I still can't believe they're releasing some of these cards in 2023, like Cactus Rager, really. 2/5/1 Poisonous. It doesn't even have Rush or anything, so yeah, it's pretty much useless. Pack Filler, that's certainly a trend with most card games anyway, isn't it? Pack Filler. Some are right there, like Cobalt Miner. So you can construct decks either manually, or you could choose like a sort of a preset deck containing the cards from most recent sets and what have you. Create custom one, or you can go to like a third-party website and that, and copy to clipboard, and then paste all the cards in a deck that you need. A lot of the time you probably don't have the cards you want to make that deck. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else I could say about this, because I think I've pretty much covered most of it, really. I'm trying to think of that on my head. Yeah, said disenchanting, upgrading, wild. Oh, of course. Well, how can I forget this? It's been a while, but they actually added. It's been a while since I've recommended this, but they finally answered my request. They finally added a related cards section. So now you can look at what cards a card can generate, or what effects that you could choose from. And it's not just for all the cards that were released after, well, from I can't remember when they added it, like Festival Legends, they added this related cards feature. I'll see if there's another example I can look at to show off the related cards part. Yeah, it shows you one card if it's just the one that it could spawn, but if it's like a bajillion, then yeah, it tells you pretty much all the ones you can get. Like Galakron's forms, the hero power, what weapon it gets. Actually, let's go to neutral and look at Dragonhoof, I think it is. It might be Dragonhoof. Yeah, Kronk's Dragonhoof. As you can see, even with older cards, they've, you know, show you what the related cards for that card are. So you now know what a devastation is, which is cool. The only downside is there are some mechanics which also need a bit explaining, like excavation. But the problem is there are so many different kind of cards you could get from excavating that it's not going to be able to fit all of them in. So you're like, is it worth excavating or not? You can't really tell, really, because it only shows you what the Azurite minion you get from excavating at least 4 times. So that's a little bit of a bottomer, as someone would say. I think that's from the TV show Bottom. No, Young Ones. Yeah, it's from Young Ones. Silly me. So one thing that I will oh, that's my sister. Hi. So yeah, what I can often say is that, as said, if a card gets nerfed, you could get a full dust refund that lasts for a few weeks, and they still tell you, like, at the start of the, like, when you boot up the game and it's been an update and some card's been nerfed, you can the screen pops up telling you what's been nerfed, what's changed. But I still don't think there's any way of finding out, like, I still don't think there's any way of like, knowing, like, of being able to display that screen ever again. It's once you see it, it's gone forever, so you have to kind of keep checking up and reminding yourself what the cards do and look through all of them, or just try and memorize them. Yeah. I'm trying to also think of what else to say, really. Yeah, that's my sister, Jodie. I call her Jode. Surprise. Yeah. So I'm not sure if this stream is lagging or not. You know, I'm kind of feeling that I don't want to play a match, because I played a couple before this. Actually, you know what? I might just do 1 or 2. 1 Battlegrounds and 1 regular match, just to show you how bad I'm at it. I'm tempted to just open a pack just to show you what it looks like. I don't think it's really changed at all, though. I'm not going to waste them. I'm going to save them for the mini set. Actually, yeah, let's just go straight to a match and show you. So I'm only at 7 at the moment. This has only been the start of the year. Start of the month, rather. Just to sort of prove that the game hasn't really evolved that much since my last video, really. And hopefully I'll remind myself of some stuff that I forgot to talk about, perhaps. Let's try excavation again. So it doesn't take too long to still doesn't take too long to get into a match, so yeah, when we get there eventually. And hopefully we get a bot just to see the botting problem, because that's been certainly a point of contention for most players. That looks like Korean? I don't know. Can't quite tell from the name. I'm gonna guess that this might be a bot. I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see what they do. So that's not a bad setup, I suppose. You still have to silence a hero if you don't want them to spam like greetings and that. Still no. I think it is a bot. Yep. Thought so. Pretty certain that's a bot. No, probably not. You can kind of tell if it's a bot if like they highlight certain things that is kind of weird to highlight, like their hero but not a moat. So I could, as I said, I could be wrong now. I've been wrong before. Let's see. Whenever you deal 1 damage, give your weapon 3 attack. I could do with a drone, perhaps. Yeah, there we go. That was kind of handy. I like the card back though. So it still nicely shows like details, like how many cards are in your deck, how many cards you have, mana, and the corpses appear I think just below the maximum mana you have. Let's see. Not too much I could do yet, I don't think, so we'll just play another one of these. And oh, I've got an achievement. It does tell you like what achievements you get, so at the bottom of the screen, as well as what landmark events from your friends. Most of these aren't really my actual friends, so I just add them because maybe I'm you know, sometimes when I'm just being bitter and just like, teach me a way, senpai, and all that. So so surprised they haven't really played any typical armor cards yet or anything like that. So we can do this now. Get a quick draw. Okay, that could be nice. Don't have to discard now, that's sweet. But yeah, the botting situation is quite a problem still, because as said earlier, like they lost the Chinese servers a little while ago, and they don't have as many players to participate in these matches, so they rely on like AI, and you know, some players also rely on AI. That's cool. Kill itself. Just from the previous mini we played. It might be a mistake crafting Drilly the Kid, but I do like the artwork, and I'll probably save it for when I get like a shadow step. So they do still add like a new sort of background per set. It's forging quite a bit. I think this person's got that 888 that could forge endlessly. Great. I want to get as much as possible without overdrawing, so yeah, I'll probably just probably won't do that quite yet.
So many options.
What shall I do? What shall I do? Gluggy. Don't worry, it's not. I don't think it's COVID. Certainly, been there, done that, and doesn't feel as atrocious as COVID was when I had it. Certainly not that to that degree. I think it's just a case of me being a bit cold when I went to sleep and opening my window, and also I had some chili noodles next to me, and the smell of the chili must have left a bad taste in my mouth, quite literally. This is pretty good board clear, really. let's crank up to 11. And start with the shadow stepping. Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna miss Ask the Lord because of just how much value he provides, and
Our gift of the arcane enlightens us.
Get rid of the pretentious threat. This game still heavily relies on RNG and following the mana curve. Otherwise, you can have the best deck in the world, but if you don't draw all the cards you want in the right order, then it's kind of like you lose. So that's why that's what really prevents it from that's really what prevents it from being as good a card game as it should be, really. So but you know, I guess in a way it's a bit like when people like something but they know it's bad. Like the Matrix sequels, like the Matrix sequels. I mean, don't get me wrong, the first Matrix is amazing. It's one of my favourite movies, in fact. But the problem is the sequels kind of went a bit too cheesy, I think. But they had some pretty good fight scenes in that. So yeah, as I said, even though I know that the sequels aren't as good as the first, I still have a soft spot for them. Same with Last Jedi as well. Same with Last Jedi, really, because I know that movie's not very good, but there's still enough redeeming qualities about that. I go like, you know what? Never mind. I just kind of forgive enough to, you know, I still find some enjoyment from that movie. And I guess this is the same Hearthstone. I know it's not very good. I know they just want my money, but which I fortunately I've never given a single penny to the people of Hearthstone. I don't think they are too understanding of what us players want, and that, you know, with the whole battlegrounds thing and with the blocking the multiple options by paywall, it's sort of, and the way they organize battlegrounds as well, like not even giving you the opportunity to buy battlegrounds pass with gold like you could before. And just the nature of the game, it does feel like an autopilot in some matches, so I've kind of been waffling out, I haven't really been paying attention to whether I'm making the right moves or not. I don't think I am, but let's draw a mech if we have any. Yep, we've got one more left, thank God. Well, not God, but you know, thank someone. Then we could play this Scorpion, which got buffed because it was pretty bad. You know, requiring you to excavate 8 times on this card. It's going to be a while before this gets rotated. Can't wait for that either. Yeah, so it seems like the Hearthstone team haven't quite learned a lesson when it comes to like releasing cards and you know balancing stuff. I don't think enough playtesting still goes on. Their player base has dwindled. You know, they're losing more and more players over time, and it is going to get to a point where they'll either have to make drastic changes or just, you know, throw in the towel, I think. Oh, cool, clear both those two, that's cool. But yeah, it's not like I want a game to fail, but it's just like, you know, what they've been doing though is just kind of like saying like, yeah, we want to improve, but not too much, because, you know, we still got to make money, because we've lost like most of our income really because of the, you know, amount of people who've left and that. It's like a sort of one step forward and at least one step back. It's still a game that's very heavily RNG based, and I don't think it's worth, you know, it's just still not worth the investment money wise, really. And because it's always online, you're still going to lose all your cards when it you're still going to lose all your cards when the servers close, which I can imagine is so yeah, you're going to lose all that progress you made over the years, and bit of a bummer, really. It started off as a very promising spin-off, but now it's kind of, I think it's on its last legs, really. They haven't really done enough to change my mind. Don't get me wrong, they've made some improvements, but I still am not intrigued enough with what this game has to offer that I would pay for it. I wouldn't pay for it still. But to be fair, I don't tend to pay for any free games. I grew up sort of like a 90s kid, so yeah, as a 90s kid, I grew up like, you know, just as a 90s kid, I kind of just grew up, you know, at a time where you just buy a game, put it in your console and play it. And when you buy a game, that's it, that's the game you got. There were no things like updates or patches to fix them afterwards. Let's see, what should I do? Oh, that could be kind of cool, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that, get some spells. Giving me is there. Summon the bread and beast that costs 3 or less. Secret when a million dies, summon a copy of it. It's dorm when it's spent a million dies, summon. I'll return it just in case. And excavate. Eventually, anyway. Not the best spells, but at least they're all one. So yeah, oh, creaky chair. As we're saying, yeah, so there were no updates, DLC patches and stuff. That didn't really come around until like late 2000s and stuff. So late 2000s, you had DLC and microtransactions and all that. So the fact that that whole sort of approach of we'll release it now, patch later, is kind of a pretty dangerous mindset to have, really, because then a lot of games will, because I mean, first impressions matter, don't they? So if your first impression of a game is wow, it's buggy and I don't like it, then they're not gonna want to come back or keep playing. Don't know why I'm doing this. Let's see. Could do with a minion. Probably a wrong move, but whatever. Let's see what spell we get spell from here. I'm running out of cards, but they are too, so. Let's see. So yeah, I was kind of waffling on a bit, but I think my point is this: that games are not now made to like be complete and final and that. They're just kind of made to kickstart and then fix it later. So, and that's kind of a shame for like future generations, really. Like with this game, I don't think they have any intentions of making it offline. I mean, remember when they closed the Chinese servers? There was little to no notice. Most of the players have lost all their collections, and then you know, because of that, I don't think they have any intention of coming back, unless, you know, the Hearthstone team have some sort of like backup. Again, I highly doubt that, really. So yeah, that's another thing. Another problem that's still a thing, really, is that they're getting more desperate for money, so they're putting all these more expensive things like legendary hero skins, and just to sort of compensate for their, you know, smaller audience now. What should I do now? Let's see if we've got any spells. He's got a way out, and he's got too much armor. I think I'm gonna die. Good thing he's not playing Prince Renathor, otherwise I'd be totally fucked. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now, I suppose. I probably could have played my taunt, but I have full health at the moment, so. Okay. That's, unless they, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, back then Warrior was a bit of a joke now, but now it's kind of the opposite problem. It's now maybe a tad bit too good. That's certainly the case with Paladin. I think that's the problem, really. They're not really quick enough in like acting on like all these really crazy cards. I'm gonna lose anyway, but I might as well just wait out really, because you know, you get more experience. Actually, that's one thing we haven't really looked at yet, have we? Oh, this card. I think I've pretty much lost now. Not like I was gonna win anyway against Warrior. That's one thing I actually didn't really talk about. Mercenaries. We can talk about that after this match. Well, I can talk to you about it. Can't really communicate back to me, so. I'm
out of cards.
Hurting you, priceless.
That doesn't really help too much. So, what spell was it I played? I can't remember. Oh yeah, it cost 0, so...
Without
this card was, believe it or not, also like pretty bad because it was like 3 mana, and I was like... not 3, was it 3 mana? It was more expensive and that, so it was a bit slow, and you couldn't play it that much with it, so... At least it's 0, so I got to play now. I imagine Wild is terrible because, you know, they can ramp up mana with that Guff card. I imagine like the Warlock deck is also you know, Imp Warlock, and you know the Questline Warlock as well. Control secret, and that's another thing. Secrets are still relegated. They relegate secrets to, you know, 4 or 5 classes still. I think it's 4 classes still. I do like Concoction Rogue, even though it's not as viable as like Excavation or well, Mech Rogue or even Excavation Rogue.
I can't do that.
No, because I have a card in my deck, so yeah, of course I can't do that.
Choose
Nah. Can't play that really. I pretty much lost, but as I said, might as well just keep going.
without a trace.
Yeah, like secrets, yeah. Still Rogue, Paladin, Mage, and Hunter have secrets. I would like to see like maybe like Secret Warlock or something, or I think that's another thing that they could do really, is just expand on like the kind of different unique kind of decks for different classes. Like I don't think we've ever had like a mech, kind of had a mech warrior and mech hunter. Maybe mech priest, because they got a couple mechs there that could work pretty well there. I probably wouldn't extreme, probably just restrict it to 30 frames per second until I figure out like why it's, you know, lagging as much as it is. I'm just kind of just getting, you know, this video sort of over and done with, because that's just kind of stuff that's been stuck in my mind for a while, and just let out in just one simple video really. There's not really a great deal I can do, is there? Okay, do it to that one, so there we go. Oh, he's still got 3 cards. Good for them. I can't look, that's asleep, because it died, yeah, okay. I can't really use that because I've got no cards, I'll just be fatiguing myself, so... Yeah, I might as well. Now I could finally talk about mercenaries, which I kind of, for some reason I just kind of left, didn't really come to mind. Well, at least I played one game and got a standard. We can actually open a pack now and also see how that's pretty much identical to how it's been for quite a while, so yeah. Might have to maybe make a few changes in the next stream, because it seems to be lagging quite a bit. It's only like running at half the frame rate. Could it have something to do with me running high frame rate for the monitor, or could it just be like my internet connection's not great, or maybe the settings are wrong? I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm watching a video whilst the stream whilst I don't know. Something I could look into. So yeah, get some points, which are kind of pointless, ironically. Let's open one single pack and then save the rest for another time. I don't know if it's true, but there's rumours that the trick is to circle around the guards and then increase your chance of getting a legendary. Don't know if that's true actually. I've seen people try and prove it with video footage, but you know, as said, oh, I got another pointless achievement, which ironically gives me points. I know I've said ironically already, but whatever. Let's I think most of them are going to be rotated and not going to see any nerfs or buffs anyway, so might as well disenchant. No, I'll keep that one. I've already got one of them. I only really disenchant if I know that they're not going to get nerfed, and also if I have excess amounts, so yeah, I could do that one because I've got 3 in total. Yeah, if you just I'm just going to deal with something else, and then I will come back and talk more about mercenaries, really, because I did sort of briefly mention it, but not really. And just as said, I've already said that it's not very good and nobody really plays it anymore. But I haven't really gone into like, because they actually changed it quite a bit. But not talked about exactly what. So I will do that in a moment. I will be right back. Duels is still kind of the same, where you could just play casually or play for rewards, but you need to use a tavern ticket for that. I guess we could just play do one more thing and play one battlegrounds thingy, just to show what it looks like now and explain like what they did and what they changed, what they did and such to the overall mechanics, because it's already in season 6, so they've added some things that are pretty good, other things that not so much. I know I should have said this like a million years ago, but on this video, the sub goals here, the view counts here, which is 0, no surprise there. The chats here and notifications are just below it, but I think so. Yeah, as I said before, with Battlegrounds is locked options, you got to pay for that. I know that was usually the case in the original version, like of Battlegrounds before the seasonal format, but still, that could be kind of handy. Usually pick the hero with the lower armor because that means their abilities are more potently strong. I don't think I've used this character much. I don't know how many bots there are in this, but there's certainly quite a lot of bots in Arena and Standard. More than I'd like.
7 fresh opponents.
So yeah, they introduced spells in this season, which are a pretty cool feature actually. Let's see, what should I pick first? I could have just re-rolled maybe, but I forgot about it. Let's re-roll it actually. That one might be good, but I'll see what else I can re-roll into in the next round. So yeah, every season they add like a different. The clock still ticks if there's like a lag or delay between, like, well, I guess that makes kind of sense because you got other players as well. This was not bad for like get more from that little minion. At least it caps you how much damage you take until like four of the opponents have gone. Unfortunately, a win is basically ending up in the top 4. If you're in the top 4, you've won. It has a rating system, but I'm not sure how that, matters. Because sometimes you'll still face up against some people who are experienced in this mode, other times not so much. So, yeah, don't quite get that. It's a bit like the achievement system. The point system is the rating system of Battlegrounds doesn't seem to do much functionally. So, it's not spellcraft, is it? No. Let's re-roll. Otherwise, we got a free one. That could work actually. Let's do that.
Spite outlives the spiteful.
I don't think it. Well, it just depending on your position, you'll get more points for the rating. But as said, it doesn't really amount to much other than maybe just bragging rights, I suppose, and not much else. Half of the frame rates, yeah. I'm not sure if I should try like a game that doesn't require like Steam just to see if it is an online thing, but I don't know which one I'd pick. Probably just any of them, really, just as another test.
How do I judge all these minions? 2 words. Funnel cakes.
What is a funnel cake? I'm not really up to my into like the World of Warcraft lore, so probably doesn't have much to do with lore. It's just like a concept. It's just a cake. Who cares?
You're doing great out there.
I guess I could just lower my bitrate perhaps. That's probably, but I don't think it's that high in the first place, so I wonder how low it has to be. Recording, let's see. Wow, I think that might be the problem. The recording bitrate is 15,000 or something? I could be wrong on that. that also explains like the delay and such. So, give me main stats because I think I've typed the bitrate as the output, not the recording. That's probably it. They say it should be like 6,000 or something like that. So maybe that's the issue. I've changed like the also the like low latency modes as well. I put like low latency, so I kind of regret buying another one of those imps. What should I do? What should I do? That's probably not going to be too useful anymore. Give me means +1/+1. First, I've got plenty of armor. Might as well get some gold. And hit. Actually, yeah. What's the highest number? Make it survive. And swap that for that. Nothing. I don't know, maybe that one, but nah, I won't bother anyway. So yeah, sorry, I was just checking the settings, and I think that's the main issue. I put streaming. No, the recording is 15,000. Never mind, I'm talking stupid. 4,000 bitrate. So yeah, that can be right. Keyframe interval. Maybe put 0. Profile high. Maybe lower the profile. And the encoder. Recording audio. Play buffer. I'll just have to just look up and see what it could be, and also let's see. Sorry, I'm just kind of hopping back and forth between the gameplay and the because it's been like that throughout the whole stream, hasn't it? It's just been like pretty low frames, and this one's I've tried to put 60, but it's just not working. Bit of experimentation, I think, is needed. Let's just sell this for more gold. Come on, buff. Come on. Here we go. Maybe get another imp prisoner, maybe? Let's see if it works. Jeez, it can't be that bad, can it? Jeez. I did re-roll, didn't I? I did click. Well, at least it is streaming. It's just very sluggish. I did, yeah, see, it's not glowing, so I did definitely click it. Oh, don't tell me it crashed. Hopefully it didn't crash. Oh, it's disconnected, that's right, I guess. Now I won't have time to buy anything with the 9 gold. Shit. Oh, I do, that's right. What should I do? Upgrades, buy, and I'll get some more. Oh, too late. I hardly had any time to do anything really because of the lag. Jeez. Oh, I didn't have enough room for the minion. Oh well. Still got one. Oh, got another one of them. Oh, that's not spellcraft, is it? At least I'm not too far behind. I'm still near the top. I think that's just because of the amount of armor I have left. I haven't really been paying attention as to whether I've been winning or not. It doesn't even tell you. They usually show you the statistics of like the battles, but nothing's popping up. Oh, there you go. This is getting weird. This is getting really weird. Oh, 2 gold, nice. Oh, that could be good with the free reroll. Oh, that's gonna be kind of handy. I don't have enough gold there. Oh well.
My quest begins here.
Boo. I'll give it to this one actually. No, it's probably a mistake because it has taunt, doesn't it? Shit. Sometimes you could end up waiting like a minute and a half. Sometimes you only give like a minute to make all these decisions. But it does get pretty frantic when you like get near the end of the game of each match. You can communicate with people, or report them, or remove them, or whatever. But you can't really do that during the game unless like you're actually playing with them, or maybe you just want to chat to someone else during someone else's game. I haven't really used this feature much, so I can't really say if it's improved or not, because I did say that like at one point there was a time where there was issue with crashes and trying to rematch or trying to talk to each other but you couldn't for some reason. That's a pretty good one. It's Battlegrounds might not be the most fun to play, like as a card game, but as a digital card game, but it certainly looks exciting. It's not a very deep of a game though, really, but it's still the best mode by far in Hearthstone. It's probably one of the few things that's keeping the game somewhat afloat. Even though it's not the most profitable mode, which is why they had to do the whole, you can't pay gold for the pass thing that you could before, because then they wouldn't make it as much money. So alright, unless we get another one of these, which I don't know if we will, but we'll give this Divine Shield and reroll. Okay, maybe we could get lucky and see if we get one. No. So we'll just okay, that could synergize with that. Let's play it now. Actually, let's get rid of that. We don't really need that. Get rid of that again as well, and then after you hear takes damage, give your demons. Oh come on, really? We finally get the imprisoner now. Okay. Not really doing much here. Let's see if we get the. Oh, we need quite a few rerolls left for that. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's do that. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Oh, let's put that at the end. There we go. Phew. Yeah, I know my turn's over. Thought I was trying to do something. Oh yeah, sorry, that's my current. I thought it was like a ghost or something. Good thing they don't exist. So I don't even know why I acknowledged it if they don't exist. Oh well. This is not going as well as I thought. I think I might actually be going downhill now. Lose my top spot. Well, not too bad, I suppose. Not too far behind, in fact. I'm kind of... Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm still bronze.
The battle is really raging out there.
Take your word for it. Let's max ourselves. Hey, okay, we get the golden monkey. Alright, we're a bit low on health, so I don't want to risk it.
I didn't like that one either. Here's a gold
Let's
for the
get
trouble.
a 6 tavern tier 6. I'm kind of winging it a bit.
A good tactical choice.
Yay. Yay. I don't really see much of a point having this minion anymore, but whatever. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll stop the stream soon and then just check what the change the ingest server, perhaps. That could be it, maybe, perhaps, don't know. Still do.
You're doing great.
Might be better if, you know, if I play a more interesting game as well. One game that I'm thinking of playing is Spyro, Year of the Dragon. I've already got it installed and I've been playing the first Spyro, which not too bad, but it's kind of weird that Spyro can't swim in that one. I think I'm about halfway through the game, I think. But I'm not gonna... I'm gonna continue playing it in my spare time. I'm not gonna do a live stream of it because, you know, Year of the Dragon, it's actually Year of the Dragon, so it makes more sense. Coincidentally as well, I'm also playing a dragon now, Nosdormu.
Any defeat that doesn't destroy you makes you stronger.
Probably want to keep that so it makes it easier to get the golden monkey. Let's try and see if we can get another one of these. Oh, we do. That was easy. Tavern spell. Please get a good one. I could have kept it really, couldn't I?
Spite outlives the spiteful.
Okay. That's not really doing anything, is it? Reborn to mechs and demons. Let's do it there. Boop-be-doo-be-doo. Making silly noises. Okay. Nothing that really kind of synergizes with the self-damaging aspect of my setup. One more roll. I'm probably gonna die soon anyway, so let's just see how this goes. Yeah, this is far from the best setup I've had, and as you've seen in the previous screen, or you know, if you scroll back, not the best results. I haven't been playing Battlegrounds as much, even though I've still got quite a few unlockables to get unlocked. So yeah, because also there's a Binding of Isaac online as well. That's another game I could probably play as well, because that's a smaller game that I prefer over this. Yep, I'm pretty much screwed. Look at those stats. I'm gonna concede. Might as well just concede. At least I'm fourth though, so I technically still won. That's something, I suppose. I'm gonna try a couple of things next stream, you know, lower my refresh rate off the monitor, find out what about the ingest server situation, change the bit rate, maybe tweak a couple modes. I still got a while to complete this one. Oh yeah, I got a new quest because it's about time I got one. I'm gonna re-roll it though, even though it's... There we go. That's easy. But I'm probably not gonna play more of this. Maybe just spend gold, no thanks. Just go through the options quickly. I put it on medium as well, so it's not even on high. Full screen might make it worse, I don't know. Got a few nice little volume options there. I think that was a change they made in a previous video I made, uploaded. Sound and background, mono sound. Not much exciting. I'm just trying to find other things to talk about, which there isn't much So yeah, the game's kind of like sort of slowly stagnating, and even with all these cool changes and improvements and that, too little too late, I think. So yeah, I'll still continue to play it every now and then. I'm probably playing it too much really at the moment, but I'll still continue to pop in and see, like, you know, what happens next. And you know, with Kotick out of the picture, who knows? Blizzard Activision might actually, you know, rebound. I mean, we've seen companies like No Man's Sky, you know, Hello Games and No Man's Sky, and CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk. We've seen those kind of turnarounds before, so not impossible, but you know, I guess if they get those the Chinese servers back and think more about the player experience rather than profits, because that seems like what they've been doing pretty consistently, then yeah, it's a shame really that Hearthstone has kind of turned out this way. It could be so much more. I think they're just sort of going in the right direction in some places and just going nowhere near it. Near good in other areas. Well, I think I'm gonna call that a stream, because this one has been a bit flawed, hasn't it? I think the main problem is just the lag, and maybe I need to tweak some settings and play something more interesting, really, because I think I just got everything out of my chest, really, off my chest, isn't it? Not out. Off of my chest. Saves me, you know, several hours of editing and cropping, which I'll do for like occasionally, like for smaller videos and reviews, but for stuff like this, I don't think it was worth going back and cropping and editing and that for a game that I don't think anyone really cares for anymore. So yeah, that's that really, I think. So I'm just going to move on from here and start streaming some better games. As I said, I've got a few ideas for games I want to play. One, it being the Spyro Year of the Dragon, because it's Year of the Dragon, isn't it? 2024, wow. It's also a game that I've played a few times, enjoyed, but never actually finished, so maybe that could be a thing to aim for. That's probably one of the main reasons why I decided to, you know, opt into streaming, because even though everyone and their mother and their uncle and their monkey's uncle is streaming, it's quite a good way to give your gameplay a bit more focus, you know, like a bit more of a journey, because you know, I haven't really been playing many video games. I love video games, but I haven't really been playing many. Just sort of procrastinated really and doing the thing I enjoy, which is weird. But I guess that's just how it is. Sometimes there's sometimes where you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this now, but then you're like, a short while later you're like, yeah, I'll put it off. You put off the things you enjoy. That it just feels like, yeah, like you don't want to do anything else, you know. But you know, I'm sure there's plenty of other streamers out there that are more professional, have better quality video and audio, but as I said, this has been more of a test stream. That's why it looks so basic with the sub goals and the view count, and not much of a chat here other than my sister, who's nicely popped in just to see. It would be nice though to see people who aren't really directly related to you or like friends of you already, just give you attention and give you a chance to just to see what you have to say, and you know, see the things you enjoy, and yeah, because I think that's the part I'm missing really, is this, you know, just sort of acknowledgement of like, well, I think the problem is I'm not really that entertaining. Maybe I'll get more entertaining, as said, if I play a better game. Other ideas for games I want to play in the future include like Rayman, Binding of Isaac Online beta's out. I might jump in to see what that's like. That looks fun. Mostly like older games as well. I've got loads of older games that I put off and want to jump into. Some classics, some more obscure, so weird games. I kind of like weird games, you know, as well. There's one in particular that I want to play, even though it's kind of childish and stupid and probably not even that good. But I played a demo version of it, and it seems harmless enough, and I guess the problem is it's also a licensed game, so the problem with that is like, you know, like gotta get copyright struck and lose my channel, yay. But it's not the first time I've lost a channel. I mean, I lost it because I didn't lose it. I deleted it because I uploaded a video and it was just so embarrassing. Like, I was a bit of a, well, I still am a bit of a sensitive soul. You know, criticism is a bit tricky for me to handle, but you know, it's not like I'll go angry or aggressive about it. It's just like a case of, you know, it's hard to take, you know, sometimes. But yeah, but yet again, waffling. I sure love waffles. Just not blue waffles though. That's a completely different story. And I like moving this cursor around. It's not very smooth, is it? Ooh. So yeah. I'm gonna look back at this footage and